Hello and welcome to the Low Code Podcast. I'm Faraz Khan from iTrack, and we are the global specialists in OutSystems recruitment. With this podcast, our aim is to increase awareness and appreciation of OutSystems and its impact and benefits to the market, and our early adoption is giving competitive edge to businesses worldwide. During our podcast, myself and my colleague Sushil Chauhan will be speaking to IT leaders and OutSystems MVPs on how OutSystems has transformed their businesses and careers. We also hope that by speaking to MVPs on their career journeys, we can inspire developers from all over the world to learn from others who have already been on the path. So let's go. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Code Podcast. Today my guest is João Heleno from Portugal. Hey João.
Hello, Faraz.
How are you?
Great, and thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Yeah, thanks for taking part. It's good to have you on and speak to you. How's things over there in Portugal?
Sure. Well, a bit like everyone else across the world, right? Working from home and hoping for the virus to go away.
Yeah, sure. Are you guys still in a lockdown or anything like that? Any restrictions?
No harsh restrictions. People are getting vaccinated, so maybe if you want to go to a restaurant, you have to show your certificate. But
yeah, sure.
Apart from that, just keep your distancing and
sure.
the hygiene rules, and you are good to go.
Yeah, great. So let's if we can just start with kind of tell us a bit about yourself, your background. Obviously you mentioned you're not from Lisbon, so just it'd be good to find out a bit about yourself.
So my journey with OutSystems, it started 11 years ago. It was 2010. I was finishing my degree, computer engineering, and I had the chance to do a summer internship. That's where I came across OutSystems. Of course, I didn't knew what OutSystem was. I was finishing a degree where all I did was object-oriented programming, Java, C#, and I was clueless about what OutSystems was, and there I was, my first contact with OutSystems and the platform. And back then it was version 5 just came out. It was also a big milestone for OutSystems when version 5 came about. I believe, if memory doesn't fail me, they launched business process technology with version 5. So that was the newest thing in OutSystems. But yeah, that was it. I mean, I was finishing my degree and I did a summer internship, and I found a job with a company, a small company, with people that came from OutSystems, so they were starting their own business. So that's where it all started.
So when you did the internship, was the role to work with OutSystems during the internship, or did you take the internship to work on Java? Or
no, the internship was to work with OutSystems, and also around agile development. So it was more like a research. We were not building something for a customer. It was more like an experience of how agile methodologies worked with OutSystems. So that was the goal for the internship.
So what made you, what kind of made you think, all right, well, this is what I'm gonna, after all your studies, what made you think, all right, this is what I'm gonna go with?
So after a while, I got my job. Maybe 1 year after or 2 years after, I was thinking to myself, okay, I've learned OutSystems, but I took my degree and I want to do traditional development. I want to do traditional languages because that was my expectation coming out of university. But then I realized that I could do something different, and I could and OutSystems was growing. So OutSystems has been growing a lot, and back in 2010 it was not so it was not very known to the market. OutSystems, you had maybe the Netherlands. You had some customers in the Netherlands back then, but then OutSystems started expanding, and at that time I was thinking, okay, I don't want to do OutSystems forever, and I want to do, because when you are coming out of the university, I mean, you don't have the work experience, right? You want to do the work experience with all the languages you learn and all that. But at the time I was thinking about trying and other things, but I ended keeping with OutSystems. And when I look back, it was the right decision to make.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a very good decision to make.
So it's 11 years now and counting. And I hope 11 or 20 years more.
Yeah, cool. And when you did your internship, was there kind of few other people who did it, or?
It was actually 3 of us, straight out of the same course. I ended being the only one following the OutSystems path.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask
you. The other guys, I lost a bit of touch with them, but I know one of them went for mobile apps. Android was also recent at the time, and iPhone apps and all that. And the other guy is doing more traditional development, or maybe no development at all. I think he's now a manager of some.
Okay, fine. Yeah, telling everyone what to do.
yeah, that's it.
Cool. I think from all the guests we've had, so all the MVPs, I think only you and Olga are the 2 that I've spoken to who straight from university have taken the risk and gone with OutSystems and not pursued something else first.
Yeah. Well, I know I have some colleagues. The colleagues I met in my first job, they also went. They followed that path. They got in touch with OutSystems. I think also during the course, when they were finishing their courses, some kind of programs with OutSystems, and they also felt enthusiastic about it, and they chose it also.
Yeah. And at that time when you started working with OutSystems, I'm assuming there weren't that many developers even in Portugal.
So there wasn't many developers, and you hadn't many clients also. You had that's the number of clients also has risen a lot, but there weren't a lot of us around. So that's maybe one of the reasons I got to be an MVP, because the MVP program started in 2016, and I was picked mainly because I was answering the forums a lot.
Okay.
And there wasn't many of us in the forums, so the OutSystems forums was the place to ask questions and get answers.
So you were part of the first batch of MVPs then?
I don't remember the exact amount of MVPs, but yes, I'm part of the first batch.
Okay, cool.
I've searched for that information, but I haven't found it. Which ones were the first ones?
The first, okay. I think I might be able to find it for you. Cool, okay. And now that you've been doing it for 11 years, obviously you've seen such a big rise. It's I think every corner of the world now, everyone knows OutSystems. Their offices are everywhere. So when do you think that kind of you've been using it for 11 years, when do you think was that point in your career that you thought, okay, I definitely chose the right technology to pursue, because now it's taken off?
Well, I think every year or every couple of years, because at each next step, when OutSystems presented something new, that's when they got ahead of the market, right? So they have been consistently being in the Magic Quadrant, up there with OutSystems and Salesforce. So they have been capable of keeping the race with big competitors like Microsoft and Oracle and. So I think they have been able to deliver the features that the market and the customers want. So I have been living that for the last decade. So
yeah.
It's really funny to be there and see all this.
Yeah, it's good as well. You know, it's kind of, you know, could be inspiring for others. You know what I mean? That you
also when you work for customers and you see and you build stuff and you deliver features in 1 week or 2 weeks, and they are used to traditional languages and frameworks, and it takes months and years to deliver something.
Yeah, and in that time, you know, did you find like a lot of people were kind of, you know, you must know people who are non-OutSystems kind of high code guys who kind of, you know, said, oh well, you know, why'd you choose that, or something like that?
Yeah, so I've been crossing those kinds of persons in the last 2-3 years.
Okay.
That's when there's a shortage in the market for those resources, right?
Yeah.
And you are seeing even in Portugal, you are seeing people coming out of university from other areas other than IT, and they are making the shift to IT, and OutSystems is a great way to do that. Being a local platform, you can easily learn it, okay? And you have time to deepen your knowledge in more technical stuff, but it's easy, and we see that a lot, people from other areas making the shift for IT.
Yeah,
because let's face it, you're not finding jobs in your areas, right?
Yeah, sure.
So you have to do something.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of OutSystems jobs around.
Yeah,
not enough developers, too many jobs.
That's it.
And you know, in you know, you started with version 5. We're at now version 11. You know, in that time, you know, what would you say is kind of, I know you said every year, you know, they always release things at next step, and you know, which are kind of, you know, ahead of you know, everybody else.
Yeah.
What's kind of some things you've seen in the last 11 years where you thought, oh wow, this is like amazing?
So it's hard right now to think of all of them, but maybe a huge step was the mobile applications capability, and also when they went cloud. So the cloud offer is also something that I think enabled OutSystems to get more clients and reach out to more business areas. And
sure.
So I would say mobile native applications and going to the cloud.
Yeah. And do you think since the pandemic there's a greater need for low code?
I believe so, and all the reports I see and all the news I see nowadays are speaking about the digital transformation, right? And I think the pandemic only accelerated that need for enterprises to realize digital transformation, and so I think it was it's a bad thing, right? But on the other hand, it was a catalyst for digital transformation and for the need to move faster.
Yeah.
That's what we need now. It's move faster and deliver to market.
Get things done as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And have you, I don't know if you've been part of these kind of processes, but have you ever been in any kind of processes with customers where you're kind of having to go up against, you know, traditional code as a, you know, sales pitch?
Not so much. I had in a previous company, I had the opportunity of doing a bit of pre-sales.
Pre-sales, yeah.
So that company was trying to move to the United States.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of calls with customers from the United States. And so we were pitching OutSystems. And maybe in some cases they were maybe considering other platforms, but
sure.
maybe Mendix in some cases, Salesforce also.
Sure.
But the OutSystems market back then in OutSystems was very small, right? So lots of opportunities, but it's a hard market to penetrate. You have lots of competitors, right? So it's an effort they have been doing for many years. Now with the help of partners, of course, to help get inside that market.
Sure.
Because it's a huge market, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there's partners everywhere now, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think there's so many companies who are, doing OutSystems services that are not even partners. There's just so many around now.
Yeah, I think you are even seeing those big four companies going after OutSystems, but I think they are just going with the market and maybe fearing of missing out on the locals.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, don't want to be left behind.
Yeah.
And in your time, have you, you said obviously you studied in traditional code. Have you ever kind of considered going back or thinking, do I want to shift into something else or try something else?
No, not really. But what I'm missing right now is I'm getting a bit outdated.
Yeah.
So I have to ramp up my skills on reactive, for instance.
Sure. Yeah.
Because OutSystems is now shifting towards reactive.
Reactive. Yeah. Okay.
So I have to drill down on that a bit more, and because I'm a technical guy, right? I'm a technical guy. I'm not developing now every day, but I like to keep up with the technology. So.
Yeah, sure. Stay up to date.
Yeah.
And have you ever kind of looked into any other low-code platforms, Mendex, Power Apps, whatever, just to think, let me have a look and see what it's all about?
No, not really, because I've spoken to other people working with that, and I see the comments from other MVPs also.
Sure.
That have worked with other platforms, and they all say it's rubbish. It doesn't compare to OutSystems.
Yeah, sure.
But some of them, they are pitching the platform to possible customers, so they have a hard job selling the platform. But I think OutSystems beats every one of them.
Yeah.
Without having worked with them, I know that OutSystems is the best one.
Is the best.
all the indicators say so. So far.
Sure. So far, yeah, of course. And they're forever releasing new things to enhance the platform, aren't they?
Yeah. So you mean new features being?
All the new features. There's always something being announced. And
I must be a bit honest, because having seen something being released since 2010. So the Next Step event was the big event of the year, and we always got something new.
Sure.
But we have to see that the platform has 20 plus years now. So
of course.
I know that they are working on the rebuilding the stack. And we will hopefully by the end of the year we will see what's new. Because when I look back at the previous two Next Step events, there were some builders announced, like
workflow builder and experience builder. Yeah.
So we didn't get that big feature everyone is expecting, but
sure.
I hope to see something new this year.
I guess the pandemic, because it was virtual as well, didn't really probably didn't have the same effect as being there in person.
But those builders are really cool, because and OutSystems is also shifting towards the citizen development approach, and those builders really help.
What's your, I think a lot of people have different opinions on this, but what's your kind of opinion on citizen developers?
I'm a bit skeptical because, of course, I come from my background is IT, of course.
Yeah.
But I think, it's a good thing. You have to reinvent yourself, and we are in 2021, and you have to get digital, right?
Yeah, sure.
And you have to maybe learn a new skill. And there's no problem if you don't have a degree in IT. And nowadays, all you need is an internet connection, and you can learn everything online. So I think it's good to have people that want to change their paths, their career paths, and move on to IT world. And and also at customers, what I'm seeing is before, at least in the companies I worked for, when we started at the customer, the team was always our team and with our developers. And what we see now is a mixed team, right? With developers from our company and people from the business, and maybe they're not developers, but they can also build with us. And
sure.
That's something good. And
I think we've spoken to a few customers who they say we haven't hired any OutSystems developers because we just got our own people. They got some of their devs switched over, and they just had some business analysts who were keen to work with OutSystems, and it's worked out well for them.
I even have a business analyst in my current projects. He has started building user stories, and he has now learned to work with OutSystems, and he has done some development work. So I think it's awesome.
It's good. That's good. And one thing we find all the time is when we're speaking to candidates from traditional code, or even graduates who've studied computer science, or something like that, they can be skeptical. And what's your kind of being someone who was a graduate and just took the leap, what would be your kind of message to those kind of people?
I still see those comments every so often. People that obviously don't know what the platform is. All they think is that we drag some widgets in the screen and you build basic applications.
Sure.
But it's much more than that. Maybe some of them they realize that maybe later and they saw the potential of OutSystems. But others are still skeptical, and if they want to do traditional I-code or low-code languages, we also need them, right?
Yeah, of course. There's always going to be a need for them. Yeah.
There's a need for everyone.
Have you ever had someone who is kind of a traditional developer who's asked you for advice, and if they're considering switching to low-code OutSystems?
No, there are not that I recall. No.
Okay.
Because also, all my colleagues and all the people I've get to know these last years, they're all working with OutSystems.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about other technologies.
Yeah, sure. And obviously, there's lots of developers in Portugal, and there's other regions are starting to kind of have we mentioned earlier, India has a lot of developers. What do you kind of see for the future of OutSystems low code in general?
Well, I see there's a huge demand for OutSystems. Obviously, we don't have all the people we need. But I think that's something we are seeing globally, right?
Yeah.
For other technologies also. But I think we are going now. I think we are witnessing that shift, right? We are seeing, and we are seeing people studying something and leaving that behind
doing something else.
Like biology. I have some colleagues. They did biology courses and sociology, and they all throw that away. And maybe it was their every single day they wanted all their lives, but they cannot find a job. And
sure.
But they made a transition, and I think they are happy.
And I guess the good thing is that if that's something you're thinking about, the advantage is you can download it for free and have a play around, and there's a lot of learning material.
So that's something OutSystems has improved a lot. The resources and the documentation is very good nowadays, and the learning materials in the website, they are all you need to get started in OutSystems. And of course, you have access to the free edition. And you can start building stuff right away and for free. So
How was the training material back in 2011?
So back then you had the HTML file that came with the platform. It's all you have, and the forum.
Work it out yourself.
So I was also lucky because I got to learn OutSystems from the best of the best at the time. People that were working with OutSystems
directly from OutSystems,
and working from the very beginning. So I learned from them, and but there wasn't many resources available at the time. I mean, you had some boot camps provided by OutSystems, but nowadays you have hours and hours of videos.
There's a lot. And all the user groups as well.
And new certifications coming, and
you
have all you need to make your transition to being a low-code developer.
Great. Well, it was great talking to you. It was good to I think it's always good to speak to someone who straight from graduation has had a whole career in OutSystems and nothing else. So I think that will be definitely key, for people who listen who are kind of graduates. We do get a lot of graduates who do consider it, and sometimes they say no, or where in other cases they might say it's worth giving a go. So I'll definitely tell them to listen to your episode because you've done it, and now
hopefully if they are listening, don't be afraid, because sometimes we even get to work with low code. Because sometimes you have to do integrations and all that, and you will have the chance to use your skills.
Exactly. Amazing.
And Feroz, thank you for your invitation, and for allowing me to tell a bit about my trajectory with OutSystems. It was a pleasure.
It was great to have you on, and maybe we can catch up in 12 months time, see where things are,
or maybe in 2022 we get together in the next step.
Fingers crossed. I think we're probably planning to visit Portugal sometime soon anyway. So either in Portugal or next step would be great. We haven't been to a next step yet. We were meant to go last year, but that got ruined. Whenever it's back to being where everyone can attend,
I hope it gets back to normal.
Fingers crossed. Well, great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll speak soon. Thanks, João.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the Low Code Podcast, hosted by iTrack, Global OutSystems Recruitment Specialist. Be sure to subscribe, and see you next time.